Hey guys, this is week 6 of Upstate Flag League's highlight show, and we had a ton of great moments in week 6. We weren't able to fit all of them in our top 5 highlights, so make sure you keep watching to see all the best plays from week 6 matchups. It was Onslaught Nation versus Polk High, and the CTS Spartans versus the Punishers. I'll also be talking to our award winners of the week. We have a big announcement for our Player of the Week award, and make sure you keep watching to the end where I'll be making my playoff predictions.
Defense, you got a interception, fumble recovery, and you held CTS as they were trying to come back there to tie the game. So tell us, what made your defense so successful?
We was hungry. I told you that's like first game coming back, so I'm ready. I was ready. I had blood in my eyes. I had blood in my mouth. I was ready to eat.
He just had to prove that he was worth us keeping him at the end of the season.
Yes,
you
sir.
know.
And Rios got smoked out there. I need my money too, fam.
4 sacks.
How are you guys going to bring this momentum into playoffs and get your second win of the
I'm
season?
gonna smoke Rios again.
It's a different. Everybody knows playoffs is different. So everything from now is over. Now everybody's 0-0 again, and we're just gonna ride this into the playoffs and try to take the Wicked Bowl.
Congrats, the Punishers, on your first win of the season.
Go finally.
So what do you think happened where Onslaught got the victory here?
They had a couple big plays that we had called back that we were just inches away from, and they got theirs and we didn't. That's the difference in the game.
You guys were really able to hold Polk High's offense and overall defense. You know, you guys had a really great game. So what was the key to this defensive victory?
The key was just trying to keep Salih in the pocket, not let him run around and break free to throw it downfield. So that was our main focus coming into the game today.
Who do you think is the biggest competition here in playoffs, and who are you, looking to get the big win over?
I have to say you got to be scared of every team because you never know what can happen. So I'm really not sure. I mean, it's week to week. You know, it's football. Anything can happen any given Sunday, any given weekend, you know.
Congrats on the big win for yourself personally and undefeated season.
Thank you very much.
And now for our awards of the week. Our first one, the Wolf Hollow Brewing Company's Offensive Lineman of the Week, and it was given to Anth Payon from Polk High. And while he was playing offensive line, Will Turner from Onslaught Nation wasn't able to get any sacks against him, and I wasn't able to get a comment from Anth at this time, but we just wanted to say congratulations on Offensive Lineman of the Week. And now for our Albany Distilling Company's Player of the Week. It was a really close race again this week for this award. We had Jay Profit, Will Turner, and Matt Callahan all in the running, and for the first time we did something totally different and are giving out 2 Player of the Week awards for Offensive Player of the Week and Defensive Player of the Week. First up for our Offensive Player of the Week, it was given to Jay Profit of the Punishers, who got their first win. And Jay, you had a huge week here. Punishers got their first win of the season, and then you got Player of the Week for the first time. And so what was your reaction to that?
It felt great to finally, I think we finally got to put it all together. Even though we still don't have an offensive line showing up, I am still being guarded by 2 wide receivers on each side of Big Bob Borden. So for us to be able to pull a win together and still not be at 100% full force is great. And then Player of the Week on top of that, I'm just trying to do my best for the team to get us that W.
And this was actually the first time anyone from the Punishers got one of the weekly awards. So what does this mean to your team?
Well, it's setting a tone. I got a couple other records, that are going to be in the book. So, I'm just trying to have a record-setting year and try to pull out this Wicked Bowl and take this chip.
And tell us a little bit about your game in Week 6. What made you so successful, and why do you think you were the Offensive Player of the Week here?
To be honest, I came into this game, it was the last game, we hadn't won yet, so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go out there and have fun. I'm going to throw the ball. I'm going to run around like a little kid, like when I was younger. So I just went at it like that, and lo and behold, we actually won. So I think I'm just going to start taking that attitude.
And that was Jay Profit from the Punishers, our Offensive Player of the Week. And now for our very first award for Defensive Player of the Week, it was given to Will Turner of Onslaught Nation. Had a huge game with 6 sacks. And so, Will, your game in Week 6 was so good that we decided to make a Defensive Player of the Week award for the first time. And how cool do you think that is?
I think that's really cool, pretty excited about it.
And you're the first defensive player to get this award. Actually, the first player who's not a quarterback to win Player of the Week. So what does that say about you as a defensive player and the game that you had last week?
I think it's just saying that I'm playing at a pretty high level right now, and trying to stay consistent is the most part.
And you had such a standout game in Week 6. So were you expecting to win Player of the Week this week, or did it come kind of as a surprise to you?
That's a little surprised. Like you said, it really hasn't went to anyone else, so I was kind of shocked to see it.
And that is Will Turner from Onslaught Nation, our very first Defensive Player of the Week. And we'll have some more awards next week for playoffs, and our end of the season awards are coming up soon as well. $500 from GotBeer.com for our MVP of the season, $350 for our Offensive Lineman of the Year from Capital District Lawn Care, and the Nature Zone is giving $400 to our Coach of the Year. And now for my playoff predictions. I'm really excited about both of these games. The first game of the week is the 2-seed Polk High, who ended their season 3-3, going up against the 3-seed, the CTS Spartans, who have a record of 2-4. And the second game is Onslaught Nation, undefeated on the season, 6-0 record, going up against the Punishers, who got their first win of the season in Week 6 and have a record of 1-5. And now for that first game of playoffs, the CTS Spartans versus Polk High. I'm giving it to the CTS Spartans. I originally was going to give it to Polk High. They've had the better season, better record. They're second in rankings. But found out that Sally Banks will not be there at quarterback for them this week. Actually, James Homestead will be their QB. I've yet to see him play the quarterback position. But Zach Deering is going to be there for the CTS Spartans. He's had a good season with them. And I think that's going to be the huge game changer. Deering's been a great quarterback, and that will be the advantage, whereas Polk High will have to adjust to a new quarterback during playoffs. And if you look at Week 5, Polk High versus the Punishers, that was a close game, won in overtime. Sali was the big reason why they were able to come back and get that win. And I think without him there, they wouldn't have been able to beat the Punishers in that game. So you kind of see that he has a huge part in their team, and he's one of the candidates for MVP of the season. I think without him, and with the CTS Spartans having Zach Deering, that will be the game decider, giving it to the Spartans 18-12. And now for our second playoff matchup of the week, Onslaught Nation versus the Punishers. The same thing here, a key player missing, CJ Tarver from Onslaught, will not be at quarterback this week, but I don't think that's going to be a problem for Onslaught. If you look at Week 1 and Week 4, they didn't have CJ, and funny enough, they played the Punishers both of those weeks, and are playing the Punishers again here without him. But if you look at Week 1 and Week 4, EJ Hackla was quarterback, and he really stepped up both of those weeks. Week 1 was a Player of the Week award candidate, and Week 4 took home the Player of the Week award. And when CJ isn't around, you see the team still step up, and they're still able to get a victory. Those 2 weeks without him had over 20-point games and had some dominant performances between EJ Hackla and Ryan Taylor, switching at QB, and I think they'll be able to have another successful week against the Punishers team, who really wants to pull off the upset here. They're coming off that Week 6 victory, a huge win for them, and taking that momentum into playoffs. They're getting a lot better on offense. Jay Profit had a nearly perfect QB rating in Week 6. If he can take that performance here into the playoffs, the Punishers will be a threat. But Onslaught Nation is a championship-bound team. We've seen it from the beginning of the season, and I'm going to give it to Onslaught Nation 26-21. And that is it for our Week 6 highlight show, the last show of the regular season, but we will be back next week with a special playoff show where I'll be showing the top 5 highlights and the full highlights from both of our playoff matchups. And it is single elimination games, so whichever teams don't win these will be done for the season, so really important games, and make sure you're checking on our Facebook or our website to see the scores from both of those games this weekend. And we'll see you guys next week with more highlights.